The only way you're going to make it through your trials and tribulations in life and the adversity that you experience is if you know who you are and you are believing in yourself. Welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Disclaimer, there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself. When it comes to healing, you do have to be very open-minded, so always take what resonates and leave the rest. And because there's no right or wrong way, there's no specific amount of time, energy, and effort that it's going to take for you to figure out who you are in this life, because you're constantly growing, you're constantly changing, you're constantly evolving. So before I give you the 5 recommendations in order for you to start believing yourself, you have to realize that you don't have to rush. You can see people, you can be inspired, you can consider them to be admirable, you can appreciate what you have learned from your past and your current reality and what you want in the future. But in order for you to constantly show up for yourself, you cannot compare yourself to what you see other people do, because we don't have the same life as everybody else. So that's the first thing. In order for you to know who you are, in order for you to believe in yourself, you have to realize that the things that you're going through is for you. And nobody, including myself, gets to invalidate your experience when it comes to life, because nobody genuinely knows how you feel. Nobody is with you all day 24/7 other than yourself. You may have family members, you may have friends, and even at times when you're evolving and you're growing, you could still be surrounded by people and places and things and still feel lonely inside. When it comes to you believing in yourself and showing up regardless of what you've been through previously, the first thing you have to do is learn how to nourish yourself. When you're nourishing yourself, you are doing something. It's a verb, it's an action, it's describing, having necessary growth, having necessary health, being in good condition, understanding that you're cherishing, you're sustaining, and nurturing. That was the word. You have to nurture yourself. When somebody is nurturing, they have a sense of care, a sense of urgency. You're encouraging growth or development. You have to realize that when we go through trauma for many years, when we go through abuse, it affects us and it impacts us financially, emotionally, psychologically, subconsciously, consciously, and even physically. Like, it just manifests in our life. And you have to realize that when you are separating yourself from those limited beliefs based off of what you were exposed to at early ages or what you've been going through, that you being hard on yourself when you've already suffered and struggled is not healthy, and it's not going to help you. Learning how to nourish yourself, once again, take what resonates, leave the rest, is going to be based off of how you like to live your life. And this is why I made the comment earlier, the disclaimer: just because we see people doing things in society doesn't mean it's forced. So like I said, always take what resonates and leave the rest. Just because you see certain people your age or certain people that you know do certain things that you're not experiencing doesn't mean that you are behind in life. Doesn't mean that you can't accomplish those things in your life. If you don't have the same resources, if you don't have the same privileges, if you don't have the same finances, how would you have the same experiences and opportunities as these people? This is why you can't compare yourself to people. So for example, if everyone around you, let's just say, grew up in a healthy environment, comes from a 2-parent household and is financially stable, and you didn't experience any of those things, you have to realize the path that you're experiencing is not the same. You guys are not cut from the same cloth. This doesn't make people better or less than because their status and their materials, because that's all they are. But you have to realize how you may approach things, how you look at life. Your perspective is going to be different. So learning to nourish ourselves is accepting the fact that we went through the things that we went through. We're working towards them. And if we don't have the finances, if we don't have the resources, if we don't have the family, if we don't have the support, and we have to get out the mud ourselves, that 1, we're going to take our time, and 2, we're not going to care about how other people feel towards us if they're not contributing into our lives. I always tell you guys all the time, if people are not financing you, if people are not feeding you, if people are not pouring into you, what they think of you is literally just an opinion. And of course, you are going to have negative Nancy's in this world. You are going to have people who don't mind their business, okay? We're going to wake it up. and want to say certain things about you, but you don't need to internalize it. Their projections, their deflections doesn't change who you are. And it's not fair to you to beat yourself up when you've already been beaten up by the world. The second thing you have to do when you learn to nourish yourself. So an example, before I give you guys the second recommendation, is whenever you feel overwhelmed, asking yourself or writing down, meditating, calming yourself down and understanding why you feel these negative thoughts or these negative emotions. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, you have to learn how to pause. You have to learn how to calm down your nervous system. You have to calm down your nervous system. You have to calm down your nervous system. You have to breathe. You have to practice this, of course, in order for this to work, like breathing techniques, or like I said, saying out loud, so affirmations, getting a journal, and acknowledging, why do I feel this way? And if you believe in those things, you need to start questioning yourself when you experience negativity, because a lot of times it comes from projections. It comes from what you've been exposed to, what you've seen, what you heard, what you were taught. And you have to realize that just because you were seeing certain things, or you witnessed certain things, just because you were taught certain things doesn't mean that it was healthy, that it was positive, and that it's for you. And a lot of times the people who are closest to us, if they're not healed or wanting to heal, they're only telling you what they know. So sometimes people do it because they do genuinely care about you, but because they're not in a position of trying to better themselves, they can only express what they've known. And then you have some people who are malicious, and they will say things to you in a negative way because they don't want you to do well. They're not happy for themselves. So you have to distinguish that. So the second thing, when you're taking the time to be gentle to yourself and you're questioning yourself if you believe these things, when you're relaxing, when you're affirming positivity, when you're practicing, self-love and self-care, also like taking the time to do things that make you feel good, like resting, not feeling overwhelmed, is choosing to believe in yourself. When you start to heal yourself, when you start to show up for yourself, when you decide to become the best version of yourself, it is a choice. And speaking from experience, you have to push through all the limitations that were projected onto you. You have to continue to show up even when you don't see the manifestations. You have to continue to know that there is an outcome that you want to desire, and look at it as a reward. Now, of course, you shouldn't just be doing it to have the reward. That's like if you want money or materials, it shouldn't just be about that. It should be the principle that you put in the work, that you made certain choices, that you were willing to put your time, energy, and effort, and you deserved certain things. If things are not handed to you in life, you have to work for them. So you have to choose to show up. I have to choose to show up. I have to choose to post these videos regardless if I have 2 followers, 2 likes, 2 views, 0 followers, 0 likes, 0 views, or 1 trillion followers, 1 billion views, 1 million followers, 1 million likes, 1 million comments. Because I know there's a specific outcome that I want to experience because I deserve it. You have to deserve to believe in yourself. You have to be deserving. You have to take the time to choose to believe in yourself. When you start to believe in yourself, when you're healing yourself, if you're not shown confidence, if you weren't shown love, if you weren't, shown how to be independent, it's going to take some time. In the beginning, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Anything you do for the first time is always going to be unfamiliar because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what to expect. You don't know how long it's going to take. You don't know what is required of you. So some days you may feel frustrated. You may feel mad. If you have codependency issues, if you have attachment issues, if you have abandonment issues, any of your anxiety, depression, ABC, ADHD, autism, neurodivergent, all those labels and attachments, like I said, we want to remove those, because once you say those things, disclaimer, you guys, this is why I don't like speaking that. Once you say that you have ADHD or 1, 2, 3, or you're autistic, you now believe that about yourself. Remove the limitations. That is a limitation. And that's what Western society does not want to talk about, but I'm going to keep it cute. Okay? Back to the program. That's going to be a different topic for a different video. You have to choose to believe in yourself. And choosing to believe in yourself takes a lot of energy, a lot of strength. Like, you don't have to believe in yourself in a day. One of the best things that I was told in life is that you cannot write a book in a day. Don't take that surface level. Take the time to marinate with that, and I'll say it again. You cannot write a book in a day. So if you cannot write a book in a day, it takes more than a day for you to heal yourself. Especially, like I said, you've been psychologically abused. Mentally, you were abused. You were SA'd. You come from poverty. People bullied you. You got jumped. You got fired. You don't have friends. You don't have family. You have people that died, passed away. Things take time. And I think that's the third or fourth thing. What number are we on, you guys? Because I lost track. I'm not going to lie. Make sure when you guys are watching these videos, you are paying attention, okay? You have your pen and your paper and you're taking your notes, because I lost track. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. You have to realize that choosing to believe in yourself is a skill. Especially, like I said, if you've never genuinely were confident. Because over here, I don't fake it until you make it. I think that's very misleading. And same thing with delusional. I've made a video on TikTok talking about that. We're not going to be delusional, and we're not going to fake it till you make it. Because when you fake it till you make it, you have to continue to fake it. And eventually you're going to fold. And you'll be exposed. So it's just like, take your time. Know that everything does not have to happen in a day. Know that you learning to genuinely have real confidence requires effort, requires energy. Even when you don't feel like doing certain things, you have to push yourself. It's literally like a muscle. That's what our mind is, you guys. It's a muscle. That's what they don't want you guys to know. Like I said, no shade to the Western society. It's a muscle. The same way babies had to learn how to have their tummy time, we had to learn how to walk, we had to learn how to talk. That's what the programming is. It's the same thing with the information that you watch over here. This is why it's really important that you guys are watching these videos and you apply the information, because if not, you're just listening. It's no good to just listen. Apply the information if it resonates with you. You have to apply that. You wanting to be the best version of yourself, you healing yourself, is a choice. Some days, like I said, may be more rockier than others. I don't want to have the limitation that things are going to be hard, things are going to be challenging, and things are going to be difficult. In my previous videos, I've said that for like universal understanding, universal laws, general knowledge, but we're going to rebuke that. We're going to remove it completely, because once again, when you come into an agreement that something is going to be hard, or when you come into an agreement that something is going to be difficult, that's now your experience. That's all you're going to think about. We don't need to have that in our mind. We don't need to be overthinking. We don't need to be stressed out. We don't need to be overwhelmed. That's what we're working on. Is the anxiety, is the attachment issues, is the abandonment issues. And over here, because we're doing it naturally, you have to feel it. That's what my channel is about. You have to feel it. You have to grieve it. Like, you have to remove it. A lot of people just try to sweep things underneath the rug. No, you genuinely have to feel in order for you to grieve. That's how you learn how to cut the extension cord, because you can write down affirmations all day. You could journal all day. You can visualize all day. You can make so many vision boards. If you don't put in action, how's it going to happen? Because you have to regulate your nervous system. That's what a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to mental health. Over here, we are regulating our mind. If you can get your mind together, everything else will come in alignment. But if the mind is not there, you got to work on the action. So you could be mentally stable. You don't have to be emotionally imbalanced. But if you're not doing the work, they have to be hand in hand. Choosing to believe in yourself is being realistic and practical about what you're able to do. This is why I created a 30-day consistency challenge. It's a playlist. I will have it in the description. Somewhere in the description, you guys, my camera cut off, so you guys are able to watch that, because we're not faking it till we make it. I don't like that. I think it's very misleading and it's fake. It's not real. It's not genuine. Those videos, I broke down what you should do, when you should do it, and how you should do it, because you need structure. You do need structure. Because there are only 24 hours in a day, you know what resources that you have, you know what resources you don't have. The goal is to work on focusing on what you do have. So therefore, as you're getting better at that, the things that you don't have will come over time. But you can't worry about what you don't have, because that's not helping your situation. And this video is a little bit longer than what I intended it to, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But you still have to show up for yourself. You still have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody cares. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's why I created this platform, because I've realized, I mean, not everyone, because everyone's not a bad person, like everyone's not slimy and shiesty and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't care, because a lot of people don't care about themselves. Over here, I care about myself. I'm always going to care about myself. I'm always going to love myself. That's why I have no problem sharing this information, because it is free. A lot of things and everything is free if you know on a spiritual subconscious level. But a lot of people like to gatekeep because they're greedy, and we don't do that over here. Okay, sharing is caring. Now, when it comes to personal stuff, yes, have boundaries. Some things you don't need to tell everybody. Like I said, you don't need to tell all your business if you don't want to. But even if you do, nobody could judge you or shame you, because all of us are going through things. I'm just open and vocal about it, because like I said, I'm still going to show up. I'm going to receive the fruits of my labor, because I'm only going to live once. We're only going to live once. We didn't come here to suffer. We didn't come here to struggle. So it's just like, learning to believe in yourself takes time. It requires energy, and most importantly, you have to realize where you're coming from. And it's a journey. It's a journey. Healing, like I said, could take years, weeks, months, days. There is not one size fit all. So when you watch the playlist, be practical about what you can do within 24 hours. Be practical about your weekends, your weeks. Be very intentional, because that's what healing is just being intentional about what you overcame, how it's affected you, grieving from it, and most importantly, letting it go. But everyone doesn't let go of information the same way at the same time. It requires work. It requires a lot of work, but you have to want to believe in yourself, because like I said, if you don't believe in yourself, a lot of people don't care. And what happens is, when you don't believe in yourself, when you don't show up for yourself, that's how people become envious. That's how people end up being suicidal. Okay, I'm not gonna say the word, because we gotta be mindful of what we say on here. But that's how people end up taking their lives and other people's lives, and just things that are negative, going off into the deep end. And that's what we want to avoid. We don't want to hurt ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically. Like I said, if you've already been abused and beaten and went through these things, we don't need to continue that. And you need to know that it is a possibility. Like, it's possible. You see people do the things that you want to do. The only difference is that, are you willing to show up? And because we're not faking it till we make it, there are going to be days where you're not going to want to do certain things. You don't have to. But you have to be honest about, if you know you have a goal, whether it's short-term or long-term, and you know that you have to do certain tasks. I'm not somebody that forces or pushes things. What I've realized is that if you have the time, the energy, and effort to do it, regardless of when you do it, when you're starting off, of course, in the beginning, taking your time to do it, because eventually you become disciplined. You'll be committed. So you're going to do it. You may not want to do it. You may be tired, but you're still going to do it. But if you're super duper 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 tired, I don't, like I said, believe in working hard, okay? You're going to have days where you rest. And resting is going to sleep. A deep meditation. Resting is taking a nap. Resting could just be turning off your phones, cutting access, removing yourself from anything that does not pour into you. So if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, make sure you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Thank you to everyone who's subscribing. Thank you to everyone who's engaging. I am so grateful for you guys, because we are building our community. And I will be going live on Instagram and on my TikTok. All my social media will be down in the description box below, so you guys are able to follow me. Let me know what questions and comments you have, and any concerns in this video specifically, or a topic you guys want me to address. And until we reach our goal here on YouTube, which I'm waiting on you all. To reach our goal, we can go live on YouTube. But as of right now, I will be going live just on Instagram and on TikTok until we reach our goal here on YouTube, which we will soon, because I get a lot of questions and concerns. And if you guys are interested in the service or a session, head to my website. It's going to be in the description, as well as my about section. When you go onto my YouTube, like whether you're on your phone, your computer, or your tablet, click a service and a session. And if you're not able to afford a session and a service, which is totally understandable, this is why I have over 280, 90 videos, 300 videos on YouTube and on TikTok for you to watch. DM me on Instagram. But you have to learn how to believe in yourself. We're going to push past these limitations. All I ask is that, like I said, when you guys watch these videos, you're engaging. That's all. If you don't book a service or a session, I will be okay. It's not going to be the end of the world for me or for you. But this is a community. So we need each other. It's not just about me. It's not just about me. Like, I don't make these videos for me. I make these videos for people like you. So all I ask, so we can work together, so we can help each other, because that's what community is that you guys are applying the information. Apply the information. Always have your notebook, your pen, and your paper. Ask questions. This is a place for you to feel vulnerable and safe and judgment-free. Like I said, paying attention to the negativity is not going to do anything. It's not going to help you. That's not important. Like, you have to be very intentional about believing in yourself, or nobody else will. Okay? Love you. Bye.